Hey Wastelanders, this is Gary from The Last Ranger, and today we're going to do a review of the Roadrunner by Finch Knives. So you've probably seen me do the unboxing of this knife, and I thought it was more than a handful. I believe, I don't think I'm wrong, but I believe it's the biggest knife to date out of Finch. So let me start off the review and do a couple impressions or a couple of comparisons. So I brought out this. I brought out the knives that kind of resemble the build. It has a bolster type lock, and this Roadrunner reminded me most of the Finch Holiday. And as you can see, comparing it to the Finch Holiday, it's probably not obvious, but this is longer than the Finch Holiday. It's indeed bigger. The blade's bigger and the handle's bigger. So, for instance, this Finch Holiday is 4 inches handle, and the Roadrunner is 4 5/16. I know that's not much, but really, it seems substantial, for me. When you consider I can get all 4 fingers on this Finch Holiday, but it just barely fits. You can see it just barely fits. When I hold this, there's a lot. There's a lot going on, because you can get your grip closer to the pivot. This, I believe, this is the first Finch design that's not followed the regular flipper tab design. I did a video on flipper tab designs of Finch knives, and they always seem to have the same flipper tab, but this is the first one that doesn't have the traditional flipper tab that most Finch design knives do. So kudos to Finch for redesigning the flipper tab, at least. Yeah. Anyway, let's compare it to another Finch that closely follows the bolster lock design, and you could see it's very small, or very big, compared to this 1929. So I like the 1929, but I always felt that it was really too small. I would like to, maybe Finch can make a 1929 XL one day, because I love the blade shape, and I would love to see a version where it's a little bit bigger. Let's get these out of the way. Let's talk about the finishes. This comes in Hornet, Resin, Burlwood, and Venom Jig Bone. I think the Venom Jig Bone is probably a dealer exclusive. I don't know which dealers, but I think that you can only get the Venom Jig Bone on other websites. If you want to shop with Finch, the only thing that is available is the yellow and the Burlwood. So I'm kind of taking a liking to the red jig bone. So I don't know how I feel about the resin. I personally, I like the knife, but I probably wouldn't buy the resin. I'm not a resin type of dude. So let's I always been curious from the start what this weighs, because like I said, it's I said it in the unboxing, it's substantial. It's pretty heavy. Let's see how much it weighs. Okay. So it's 4.06 ounces, but let's compare it to the Holiday. This is 3.6, so it's a little bit heavier than Holiday, and it feels a little bit heavier. So let's compare it to the small knife, 3.1. So let's give you a size on the blade. The blade's over maybe 3 3/8 or 3 and yeah, it's just at like maybe 3 5/16 on the blade and the cutting edge, and it's 3 3/8 on the blade itself. It has sort of a shape like a dagger. It reminded me of the Holiday when I was doing the boxing, and but if you can see, it just doesn't it doesn't fit the Holiday design immediately. So I think it's more of a modern design with the I just wanted to bring up and mention, yeah, it does have the same pocket clip as the Holiday. I called that from memory when I did the unboxing. So I think this has probably been out long enough that I won't like overdo the specs on this or a review, because I think it's a really decent knife. It's not the handle material is not for me. I would, if I was to buy it, I would go with the red jig bone or the Venom jig bone Roadrunner. But other than you seeing me fuck up, I think it's a great flipper. I mean, I'm very surprised. Sometimes I have to use the push button method on the Finch knives, but not this one. You can like just not be thinking, flip it out with ease. So I don't know where this is made, but I'm going to guess it's probably, I mean, it's of course China, but it's probably made by QSP. I think QSP made most of their knives early on. Best Tech made their knives, but I think QSP is their primary company they go with. Let's do some cut tests. And Mattisfaction, if you're watching, I recommend index cards. When you try to slice thin paper, you take your chances, because index cards are very stiff, so they make a excellent slicing demo of paper. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this review. I'm gonna pass this knife on with the Apex Pass Around group. I think this is a decent knife. It's probably one I'll pick up at some point in my collecting, but Definitely, if they would have released this one with a white bone, I would immediately pick it up. I think this is a perfect knife that would have, this white bone would have complemented this knife. But if they don't come out with a white bone or some kind of white or white micarta, do they make a white micarta? I don't know. Or white G10. A white color would look good on this. But if they never do, and I see this knife on, I'd have to have this knife, I'll probably settle on the Venom Jig Bone version rather than the Resin. As I said, great flipper, great flipper. You can't go wrong with this. It's a very handsome blade design. Very. This looks like a tool an assassin would use. I could see slipping in the to the base of the skull. This blade. Yeah, it's. I like it. I like how it looks. It could be a little bit lighter, but I don't see a problem with it. I just like how it fits in hand. I like how when it's closed, I can like push up on this the back of the flipper tab. Well, yeah, it's I think it's a winner from Finch. So I'll let you guys go, and stay tuned for I don't know what I'll cover next. I may cover the some older knives that I've got in the future. Take care, Wastelanders.